The college football experience 12-team playoff preview show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN. You get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet's a brand new sportsbook available in 45 different states. Download Rebet in your App Store or Google Play Store. Use the promo code SGPN for 100% deposit bonus, all the way up to $100. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, this is Bill Romanowski. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome to the college football and college basketball experience pregame show. I just woke up like 5 minutes ago. And that's because we were in the wee hours of the night doing a bunch of different shows last night. College football experience recap show about the Notre Dame Indiana game. Then we had the college basketball experience show. There's a shit ton of college basketball games, so check out all of that action. I feel like I went to sleep an hour ago. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Oh, the slate is unbelievable today. I mean, crossing streams here, sports-wise. I mean, you can't ask for much better than what we got. I am joined by my co-host, and I'm sorry, this is on the basketball feed. I was a little asleep at the wheel when I created the show last night, the page. I am joined by my co-host. He is the host of the NBA Gambling Podcast, which you should be subscribed to, and the WNBA Gambling Podcast, but he got his start right here on the college experience. Give it up for the great Terrell Furman Jr.
What's going on, Kobe?
Ooh, it's a tough wake up today, man. It's a tough wake up. I feel like we got done recording at like 6, and then you got to put out the podcast. I didn't get to sleep probably 8 o'clock. Yeah,
you guys, and you're out here doing West Coast hours on the East Coast. You gotta adjust, Kobe. You gotta adjust.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna make it, man. I just feel like you bastards on the East Coast and the whole clock's got to go around the East Coast. I just don't. No. Start the games earlier. Yeah, it's been tough though. But buddy, today is like just an unbelievable day for sport. You got a ton of stuff going on, but first I'll just start off with your reaction of Kurt Signetti coming in, talking all that shit, and then not the most aggressive game plan. Not the most aggressive game plan. Yeah. I mean, team track kind of drove me crazy with their lack of going for it, whether it was the punt on fourth and 11 in Notre Dame territory, or the field goal in the first half when it just didn't make a lot of sense, or the kick returns, calling these fair catches. Like when your kick returners getting the ball at like the 10-yard line on average, I don't understand the point of the fair catch, because the fair catch, you're getting it to the 25. Like if it was in the middle of the end zone, I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. But not the most aggressive game plan. Your thoughts?
Disappointing for all those who like to watch little brother football beat up on big brother football. Very, very disappointing. The college football invitational, 4-team invitational folks got their last laugh last night as they watched this team. I still think Indiana deserved to be in. Like I still stand
Of
by Indiana
course.
deserved to be
Of
in.
course. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you win the games in front of you. You play the games in front of you. You win the games in front of you. And I think they definitely had the opportunity. And if teams like in Alabama or anybody else wanted to be in, don't fucking lose to trash ass teams. Like that's all. That's really all it is. Like if you want to win, don't lose the trash ass teams. What did Indiana not do? They didn't lose to any trash ass teams. They went out there. They lost to a good team in Ohio State. Like they didn't lose the trash ass teams. So if you want to be in a playoff, how about don't lose the trash ass teams?
Yeah, and I do love the narrative that, oh my god, this was a blowout. We got blowouts and
Bro,
almost on the regular.
Notre Dame got blew out every single time they were in the playoff up until yesterday. They got blew out every single time. They weren't good.
I mean, the Oklahoma Alabama game. I mean, you can think of a lot of these. The Michigan State Alabama game was like, what was that, 30 nothing or something? I don't even remember. 38 nothing, I think it was. So I mean, yeah. Jesse Chambers saying that's all good and well, but this sets the precedent for cupcake schedules.
No, it doesn't, because Alabama lost to the two worst teams in the SEC. Like it doesn't because you lost to you can't. So now, are you going to schedule harder? So wait. So are you telling me to avoid losing to bad teams, you're just going to schedule all good teams? Oh my gosh. That'll show me. That 100% show me. That would definitely show me. Yep, go schedule all good teams. You should definitely do that.
The sport is too even right now. I know like yesterday's result was not even, but I think it's going to be hard to win. If yesterday's result could have been different if it was a neutral, but the fact it was at Notre Dame, home games will matter in college football. I mean, greatly in my opinion. But another thing is the TV execs like own the sport right now. They're not gonna put on Alabama and Mercer on the. So I'm sorry, like they're gonna tell you, hey, you better fucking challenge some teams. You know, so I refuse to believe that it's going to encourage lighter scheduling when the TV execs have basically.
I mean, how light can your schedule be if you play in the SEC? Like, I could completely understand the logic of that if Alabama scheduled Oregon and they lost to Oregon, and that was the reason that they didn't get in. All right, bet schedule. All right, we need to schedule softer so that we can get in, so we don't have a loss like an Oregon. But they lost to the SEC teams that they gotta play. And that
Alabama has that, like
what is that?
There's
not
even an argument in my opinion.
Yeah, like that.
It's not even an argument.
Oklahoma loss is so bad. Like I don't think people understand how bad Oklahoma was this year. That's a really, really bad. Like that is a really, really bad take. That is a horrible loss. Like horrible loss.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana deserves to be in. If you're not putting Indiana in, then you're not putting Texas in, right? Then you're not putting Tennessee in. Like those three teams are all very similar in a light schedule manner. Anyway, we got just an unbelievable slate of games, really, just all across the board here. I love like college basketball just doesn't give a shit. They're just like, hey, it's a big day for football. Well, here's 200 games. Yeah, no one flying that airplane, but SMU is at is actually at Penn State in about 49 minutes. This line has not moved much in the past 24 hours. I'm currently seeing SMU plus 8.5. The over under at 52.5. I'm just, this I thought was the hardest game. Now I took Indiana in the points last night and ate shit, but I did hit the under there. But this is one of I took SMU. My logic was this. I think SMU's quarterback situation can give Penn State problems as far as his mobility. And I just don't like, to me, the pressure on Penn State. The pressure is on Penn State. And more times than not, with the pressure on them, they haven't looked great. With all that's being said, I could also see this being a Penn State blowout. Like SMU in this cold ass weather.
Yeah.
And the way Penn State can run the ball. But one thing I do like, probably even more than the 8.5, was the over 52.5. I think, because even if SMU gets blown out, I think they're capable of minimum, 21 points, right? Maybe even more than that. Maybe even like 20, 28, so I think the over 52.5 is the best play you can do regarding this game. But I'm also going to just because it's a 12-team playoff, I'm going to jump on SMU in the points, see where that takes me. But what do you make of this one?
Yeah, I'm going to jump on SMU too, just because of the angle. I do think that we are going to get surprised by a dog winning outright this weekend. I really thought it was going to be Indiana, and so I'm sticking by my bold prediction that a dog is going to win outright, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh my gosh, this dog was able to get it done." Very, very, very concerned about them going up north to play this game. Very, very, very concerned about that.
Yeah.
And so I think Jennings is really going to be the X factor. I think Jennings, if you are in a prop bet state, the rushing yards, or you can get down on underdog, the higher on 17.5 rushing yards with Kevin Jennings. Kobe, I'm going to need another play to play with that later on in the show, but I'm definitely getting down on the higher 17.5 rushing yards with Kevin Jennings. I think that he's going to soar over there. I mean, maybe the sacks set him back, but like he should still be able to get going with his legs.
You can make a case that he's the best quarterback in the 12-team playoff. Now, Dylan Gabriel statistically is probably there too, and he's also been playing college football for a fucking decade. But Jennings is a baller. I just hope he starts off hotter than that Clemson game, because he got himself in that hole. He got then he got him out of it. But like if he could just go right into that second half version of him, that could be very, very dangerous.
Get the ball out quick, move with your legs, really, really take away the pressure that defensive line and Abdul Carter are going to give you. If you can take that away and you can game plan that out of that, and so we'll see Coach Lashley and what he builds up in this one. But if he can go ahead and get the ball out quick, take away Abdul Carter and that defensive line, then that offense is going to be able to move the ball, because I think that they can make plays against that secondary.
Yeah. Brian Sanders not buying in. Jennings is okay for the competition he's played. I bet you Kirby Smart would trade for him right now.
I was about to say, yeah. I bet you Kevin Jennings over whoever
any of their quarterbacks. Yeah. Same time this is going on, we got so the SMU Penn State game's on TNT. Nationally televised is the Dakota Marker FCS battle, which is just a heated rivalry. If you are unaware, folks, it's been going on for quite some time. South Dakota State is heading to that filthy Fargo Dome, Terrell. I know you love it, but South Dakota State is laying 3. This is one South Dakota State's the back-to-back FCS national champion. Prior to the regular season game this year, I think South Dakota State had won like 6 or 7 in a row, but North Dakota State got them in the same stadium back on October 19th on it with a 13-9 win that came down to the final minute of the game. What are you doing here? And yeah, I mean the spread is 3, the over under at 50.5. They hate each other, and that's what's great about this. Like this is a full on. This is like getting Auburn, Alabama, or something, or Army, Navy in the playoffs, Michigan, Ohio State in the playoffs. Like these teams hate each other. It's gonna even look. It sucks that it's in that filthy dome. Would much rather have it be in Brookings.
I'm just saying, Kobe, that you could go watch this game. You could go watch this game, and you could comfortably take your jacket off. You could move around. You can move around. You don't have to see your breath in front of your face. You can, if you want to walk out and go get a beer and drink your beer without it freezing on you, then you can do that as well.
Is that Jason Whitlock talking? Look, if I wanted to go to the movie theater, I'd go to the movie theater. All right. But
I can't wait. What you guys next year? Kobe and I are going to Celebration Bowl. Mercedes-Benz.
I'm
Stadium.
down.
He's gonna enjoy it too, and it's so funny because he's gonna enjoy it. He's going to enjoy the experience.
Yeah, man. You get a soft pretzel. Check out the food court. Throw a few pennies in the wishing well. All right.
I think it's a barbershop in there too.
There you go. See, you get everything taken care of right there. Right. Yeah. Oh, there's a game on. There's a fucking game on. I'm on North Dakota State. I think they're going to complete a sweep.
Kobe's lucky I let him get away with it. He's lucky I like him. It is a killable offense.
Well, you sounded like him for a second. It was just like with all this talk, you don't see your breath in the air. I was like, wow.
Bro, Kobe, I'm sorry that I don't want to freeze at a football game, Kobe.
Look, you're missing the point of the sport. Like, it was meant to be played outside. Like, this is not supposed to be going to a movie theater, getting your popcorn, right? And catching these.
Let's go to some. What's the league called now? The UFL. We can go to some UFL games. I can do that. Spring football, warm weather. 100%.
I don't know. They might not let us. We might not get those media passes.
We might not.
Right?
Media passes. With their, give us media passes.
With their 11 people at the game, God forbid someone actually covered the sport. You know what I mean? Hashtag UFL Jeff sucks. Yeah, we got him fired though. We got him fired. I take a lot of pride in that. I take a lot of pride in getting him fired. Yeah, I'm on North Dakota State. What are you doing here?
Are they back? I don't know if they're back. Give me South Dakota State. Get it done.
Laying that 3. Yeah, I'm going chronologically based on time, folks. So excuse me if I am bouncing around everything. But Terrell, at noon, we got those 2 football games. There's also D2, D3, NAIA stuff going on, which I don't have lines for, but I'll see you in cut. But basketball is also thriving, and we just Syracuse, the Orangemen heading to college. Wait, this is in Brooklyn. I'm sorry. We're gonna get rich today.
Okay,
right here.
Here we go.
Maryland. Look, so Syracuse has played in Brooklyn twice this year, right?
I don't know why Maryland's laying 14.5.
That's what I'm saying. Like so Syracuse is 0-2 in Brooklyn, but those games 70 to 66 against Texas.
Okay.
I mean, they almost beat Texas. That game was like coming down to the final couple possessions. Then in Brooklyn against Texas Tech, they lost 79-74. And that literally came down to the final possession there. I happen to think, at least Texas Tech, I don't know about Texas, I think they're better than Maryland. So I'm like, wait, and that was the beginning of the year. I think Syracuse is playing at a higher level now, even though they're not a Boeheim Syracuse team, but I just think they're more cohesive now, despite that loss to Georgetown. I am going to take the Qs plus the points, and I think it's worth sprinkling that plus 650 money line. I think it's worth taking a stab on that. It's going to be a Syracuse crowd.
I can't lay that with Maryland. I agree with you. I can't lay that with Maryland. 14.5. And I mean, who is this Maryland team beat? Like Manhattan, Mount St. Mary's, Florida A&M. They lost to Marquette, Canisius, Villanova, who sucks this year, Bucknell, Alcorn State. Just beating up on my HBCUs, by the way. Ohio State, who sucks. Then they lose to Purdue. Like, they lost to anybody with a beating pulse, and they've beaten a whole bunch of nobodies. Like, I mean, Maryland might be one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most fraudulent teams in college basketball right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, their record looks good, and they have blown out some teams, but I just think Syracuse and New York City, when any you get, whether it's the Garden, whether it's Barkley, I just think that they have the crowd and like it's kind of a get up game for Syracuse because they get to go into the big city and all that scattered ass is there. And let me tell you, it's a little different. All right, the wind hits a little different. This is a C-note game. Give me Syracuse. Lock this.
And
thing
they
up.
almost lost to Villanova. They almost lost that game to Villanova. Yeah, this is wow.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm shocked that this line is this much.
Let's go, Orangeman. At that same very time, Marquette is heading to Xavier. Your boy Shaka Smart let you down last week. He let you down.
Yeah.
Try to tell you.
It happens.
They were up big though. They blew a double-digit lead. Marquette now heading. They played a home game, beat Butler throughout the week. Then today they're heading to the Cintas Center. Yeah, I was on Butler. And now they're heading to the Cintas Center to take on Xavier. And guess what? I find this line to be, it's come down a point overnight, but it's still 4.5 for the Musketeers. I'm on the Musketeers. I think Marquette may win this game, but I just think Marquette getting 4.5. I do that you can still get a 5 out there. This arena gets lit. So I'll take the points in Xavier, but no money line play here. Actually, it's not that bad of a money line play. It's worth a sprinkle. What are you doing here?
I don't know. Marquette's kind of dominated them in this matchup over the last number of games, being able to get it done. 1-1 the last 2 times they played in Xavier, but a bunch of very, very blowout wins here for Marquette. It's really, how do they respond? How do they respond this week? They had the game against Butler. Butler always gives them problems, though. Like, I don't even want to think too much into that. Butler ended up covering the spread, not getting the outright win, but Butler always gives Shaka problems. I think I'm rolling with Shaka again here, man. 4.5, 2 possessions. I think that they can be able to stretch this lead with fouls to include the 2 possessions. Cam Jones is just an absolute monster. I think defensively they're going to smother this Xavier team.
You know what might help you is Zach Fremantle's out, coming in. You know, one of the better players on the team.
Yeah,
definitely right now. So that could be, if you're looking for a reason to jump on Marquette. I just think the arena, it's just a hard place to go into and win and dominate. So Marquette may still get away with the win here. I just think the points are a little too much. Shout out to we got multiple people. I mean, we got everyone else going to these games out there. David Matola saying boots on the ground at the McHale Center today. Tag us in it at TCE on SGPN. Virgil hitting that Mount Union game. Tag us in it. Shout out to that game. Johns Hopkins at Mount Union.
All right.
You know, tag us in those. Let's go.
Yeah,
where
is SGPN or TC or SGPN at on a Saturday? Tag us all. Where are you at on a Saturday? We need
amen.
All of the good vibes. Kobe, I meant to tell you next week. What are you doing? Well, we could talk offline for sure, but next week, next Saturday, actually, Aggie Eagle Classic in Greensboro, North Carolina. Aggie Eagle Classic.
Saturday though?
Yeah, Saturday.
Because we don't have the playoffs next Saturday.
Saturday at 2.
Let's have a conversation after this.
Yeah.
UConn is playing at the same time. The back-to-back national champs. Dan Hurley, I know Terrell, you're a big fan.
Yeah.
They are laying
old man shouting at the clouds.
Or 9. They're at Hinkle Fieldhouse, legendary Hinkle Fieldhouse, which I'm calling for Stormwatch here. Because get this, Butler has lost a slew of games in a row, 4 straight. They're 7-5. You can't tell me UConn is getting up for this game. Now, meanwhile, UConn has been through the battles. They've been through battles. Look at their schedule recently. Close win against Baylor, right? Against Texas, they prevail. They actually were up. Yes, Gonzaga in the Garden, win. Xavier overtime.
Win.
They're going to get had here. They're gonna get had here.
Kobe, they constantly keep winning these games.
Butler. They're storming. Sprinkle a little bit on the money line. It's all about the situation. Dad Mata knows they can get back on the right side of potentially making the NCAA tournament if they knock off these Huskies. All this going on at noon. Seems like you're laying the points.
I'm not going to lay it. I do like the points, but it's the money line aspect is where if you really want to green up here, take the first half and say they come out, have a great game. They figure everything out, but UConn always puts it together. Like they always put it together at the end. And that's what makes the spread so concerning because it's a large number, but I can 100% see UConn going into the second half down and just figuring it out and willing out another win. So I personally am going to wait. I'm going to watch this game and I'm going to try to get a live line on UConn, maybe a little plus money value or something like that towards the end because they always just seem to figure it out right now. But I do understand the aspect, and I probably will have a play on Butler first half money line. I think they can sneak them in the first half and then blow it in the second.
Let's go. I mean, Joe Allison in the chat saying y'all make my probation great. Glad we can provide that.
What are you on probation for? I mean, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Or was it not? Yeah. Or allegedly? What are you allegedly on probation for?
Well played. But yeah. I mean, yeah. What is Johnny Law got you doing? All right. And glad we can be that. That outlet.
You don't have to be on house arrest to be on
when
probation.
The man's got you down. When the man's got you down. Yeah. What about this one then? Since at the same very time, Terrell, the number 5 Duke Blue Devils are going into Damon Stoudemire's house, Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia Tech beat them at this very stadium a year ago. 15 points? Are you 15 and a half? 15 and a half fucking points?
Is that what this line's at?
Yeah. 15 and a half points? Look, I know Georgia Tech's ass this year, and I don't know if Stoudemire's the answer long term, but it's big.
If you're going to get up for a game, it's the Duke game.
Yeah. Perfect example is they played at Carolina recently. Georgia Tech lost by 3. I feel like they tend to always get up for Carolina and Duke. I'm locking it up.
Yeah.
Give me the points.
Yeah, they are 4-1 in the last 5 games ATS against Duke. 4-1. There was one game at Georgia Tech where Duke came back and they were unable to cover, but they covered as a 17.5 point dog. They covered as a 12.5 point dog and won outright, covered as an 18.5 point dog. And they even, at some point in 2021, they were laying 1.5 against this Duke team and got the win.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even crazy for a money line sprinkler. I know I'm saying that for every fucking game, but I'm just saying, I mean, it's plus 900.
Duke and Georgia Tech, when Georgia Tech plays Duke and Carolina, you always take Georgia Tech. You're up units.
All these games going on at noon. All right. All these games going on at noon. Final basketball one for the noon slate. Mississippi State is at Memphis. This is kind of a rivalry game here. Starkville to Memphis. Penny Hardaway in Memphis coming off of a nice win against UVA. They didn't cover that game. UVA actually covered, but 2 nice wins in a row. They won at Clemson in a very good game a week ago. Meanwhile, Mississippi State, Chris Jans 10-1, not even ranked. And Mississippi State is laying 1.5. I think Mississippi State's going to catch them. I believe this is a true road game. It's at FedEx Forum.
Well, they're actually not. This
me.
Actually isn't too far away from each other.
Yeah,
I don't believe
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Mississippi State. I'm pretty sure Starkville and Memphis aren't that far away from each other. Maybe 2 hours.
That's I think something like that. Yeah. Here's the thing for me. Memphis, obviously Penny Hardaway, their teams are super talented. And they have great athletes. They always do. But Mississippi State is kind of kind of like that. And like Mississippi State, not the best shooting team under Chris Jans. You know what I mean? Like Chris Jans just doesn't really. I feel like all of his teams don't have great shooters, but they got athletes and they got like just they're always on point defensively. I'm fascinated by this game. I really want to watch this game. I'm taking Mississippi State, part of the SEC's dominance in the sport. They're a basketball conference now, and I'm going to lay the 1.5. I just think they're going to muck it up, and they have the athletes to kind of go toe for toe with Memphis there. You could bring out some of the numbers too. Yeah,
defense,
I mean Chris Jans
for me. Yeah. I think the defense is going to be really, really live, smother them. I like the under in the game, and I think, like you said, it's going to be an ugly game. I think the line is telling you everything you know. Mississippi State's going to make this ugly. It's going to be some type of 65-60 kind of game.
Yeah, I completely agree. Joe Hackney saying, Colby, are you taking over the East Coast stand-up world now? No, not at all. I want to, but not at all. White Tiger has
commanded a lot of time.
Available. Yeah, I'm not available to get out there as often right now. It's a transitional point in my life, but I still plan to get back there at some point. Because I would love to do it. I really want to, but it's just right now you have a newborn at home. You just got to prioritize. Shout out to Rob Donaldson giving us $20. Top of the morning, fellas. Penn State by 700 billion trillion 300 million. You know the Joe Biden clip. What do you? Well, we took SMU, Rob, but it's nice of you to rep your Big Ten conference though, and appreciate the $20. You're the man, bro. Yeah, let's okay. Now, so now let's
shout
jump
out to Rob
back
for the best at TCE clips. By the way, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't realize that I had missed out on. But the you talking to Noah as his conscience when Noah is now passed out on stream is possibly one of the funniest things that I've seen on this show. And I have no idea how I went almost a whole calendar year without me being able to see it because.
I mean, how the fuck is this guy falling asleep on the best part
how did
about
he fall
that
asleep? How did he fall asleep?
In like he wasn't even at his own house. He was like watching his aunt's dog. So he's like he was like in a sitting up position. He had just previously spilt like a huge cup of ginger ale all over his fucking computer. Right. And then like it was like some grandpa shit where like, you know, like you have your grandpa that like, you're sitting there talking to him. And then next thing you know, in the middle of the conversation, he's just asleep. You ever been in a situation one time, and my mother's getting up there now, God bless her. But one time I was asking my mom something and it was like a decent conversation about life, you know, and I'm like, Mom, so what do you think I should do? You know, I got this, I got that. What do you think I should do? And then I'm like, I'm waiting for her to answer, but I wasn't looking directly at her. We're just sitting on the couch. And then I look over and she's asleep. My problems, they're your own problems, Kobe. Figure them out. I'm asleep. That's what Beanix's thing was.
Your problems were so boring, they put me to sleep.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, relax. All right. I'm asleep here. This is what I get to do in my 70s. Back to the football slate. The next big game is Clemson heading into Austin, Texas. Texas laying 13.5. Over under at 49.5. I think, and I'm curious your take on this one. I think Clemson is fucking live, man. I think there's no pressure for them. People think they shouldn't even be here. You see this in the NCAA tournament often, where the team that you think is not supposed to be there. I remember we given one of the Boeheim teams. There was a play-in game, and a lot of people were like, they shouldn't even be in the fucking tournament. And they came in with no.
They went on a fucking run
to the Final Four, I believe, if memory serves me correct. Yeah, or the Elite Eight, one of the two.
I mean, shoot, VCU. Shout out Shaka Smart. VCU took them into that first 4 game. They really questioned if VCU should make it that year, and VCU went on that crazy run. I mean, This is Dabo, and this is Dabo with no expectations and a chance to really, really stick it to the transfer portal folks.
Oh yeah, at 13.5, I'm seeing you got in your starting quarterback, Cade Klubnik's from Austin, Texas, so he gets it's a homecoming. He's bringing out all the scattered ass he never got to lay. Right, it's a big opportunity for him to take advantage of that.
And Quentin Ewers has your job. I can only imagine as a guy from Austin, as a quarterback growing up, you wanted to play for Texas. Like that was something you were really, really interested in. And I mean, he went to a good program over there in Clemson, but like this is a really chance to stick it to him, like really, really stick it to him. I understand a lot of people are betting Texas in this game, but like, I mean, when has Texas ever showed up against a competent quarterback? And now the question is Klubnik competent?
Yeah, I think he is, and I think they're the most balanced team they've played, other than Georgia. Another angle though that I like is the fact that Dabo Swinney as a dog has been fucking amazing. So anytime you can get Clemson as a dog, his track record is incredible, and he's been at the spotlight, in games like this before. Yeah. A lot of the staff has as well. Garrett Riley as OC took TCU to the national championship.
And look how Trevor Lawrence looks in the NFL now. Like this might be a little bit more of praise to Dabo than we give him credit for, because Trevor Lawrence looked competent at Clemson. Not so much when he made it to the next level.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I think there's another thing too. Is like, first off, Steve Sarkisian, all-time bitch, complaining about Diego Pavia's eligibility, getting the extra year. You gotta have you gotta have a certain type of ego to get fired from USC for being drunk on the fucking job and not showing up to practice, and then suing the fucking university. Talk about just not handling your own fucking issues. No, I'm going to sue the university. Why? Because I was drunk and didn't show up. Accountability a little bit, please. And then Diego Pavia. Oh, this is a ridiculous ruling. It's a ridiculous ruling that he gets an extra year. Hey, Sark, you're a fucking BYU graduate. Your whole goddamn roster was like 30 years old. I remember you playing quarterback at BYU. I can't stand the fucking guy. He's got an ego on the fucking moon.
His wife Clemson, is a North Carolina A&T Aggie.
They're in the process of a divorce.
Oh, are they really?
Did you know that? Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going through a divorce.
Well played, by the way. Well played. That's played.
Kobe,
these Aggies sharp. No, I'm serious. That was reported earlier yeah. But that's how long were they together? She got
I don't know. I'm looking into this though.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think it was reported earlier. I don't know why we are learning about that, but I believe that was reported. I mean, I'd be pretty pissed off of Sark. Guess throwing out my shit out there, But Clemson's live. I think you take the point. I think you sprinkle the money line. Plus 425, and I do like the over.
Oh, wow.
Pete Rodriguez can Clemson provide pass protection? Look, I don't know.
He said this in the summertime. I went through a whole season not knowing they were getting a divorce.
Yeah, it was like week 2 or week 3. I thought when that broke,
and then it broke again recently. Okay, I'm weak.
Yeah. Shout out to Sommer in the chat saying, "Go Mount Union." We got these Raider fans today. They're out there. I'm on Team Johns Hopkins, but I know they're probably gonna get fucked up. Yeah, I like Clemson. I like the points. I like overtime, or I like overtime. What the fuck am I talking about? The over. Yeah. The other game in the FCS is we got the Coyotes of South Dakota heading up to Bozeman, Montana. They're a fucking wagon. Montana State 14-0, laying 9 points. I will say this though, not nearly that cold. Normally you get it at like 10 degrees. 42. That's nice and 42 over there in Bozeman.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Montana State is laying 9. Nice. Montana State is laying 9.
Don't invite me to any football game outside of October. Like if you even fix your lips to be like, hey, do you want to go to this game outside of October? Just don't even ask me. Don't even ask me.
Oh, buddy. I mean, wait till we're in the early stages of SGPN. Once we get that John Madden tour bus.
Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna convince you. I'm gonna see like, dude, we're going down to Gainesville for the game at the Swamp.
I bet you, and I'm gonna. This is me inside the tour bus. All right, I'm coming to you live from the tour bus here. We got all the games on the TV. We got all. We don't even look. You can go out there and watch one game
right now. We got coffee brewing right now.
You can go to the stadium and watch one game, or you could be in here with the tour bus with me and watch 9. What do you mean? That is an easy decision.
And guess what? That works. But I'll be in the stadium, sitting there, you know, feeling the breeze, being a part of planet Earth, being a part of planet Earth. You know,
back to Kobe with his red face and his half frozen beer.
Oh man! Shout out to Joe in the chat. I'm all over Montana State -9, by the way, and I think this line shot up. It was at like 7.5. It's up to 9, but still, I'm not stressing. Lay the 9 as Montana State just looks to be a force. So, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'll lay the 9 with Montana State here. Really good team. I understand it. Typically, it's a lot of points, I think, for a game of this statute this late into the season, but I think Montana State can get it done.
Let's go. I'm gonna lock that one up too.
Ooh.
There's some other
I have a lock on
college
on
basketball.
The schedule. I have the lock on the schedule coming up.
Ooh. I want to ask you about this one since you're kind of our Wake Forest specialist. They're
I sold shares at Wake Forest, so I'm now the Wake Forest specialist.
You're connected over there. You're fucking connected over there at whatever that stadium they used to call Grove Stadium now. Wake Forest is catching 8.5 at Clemson. Brad Brownell and Clemson just lost the Palmetto Bowl to Lamont Paris in South Carolina. I know you're happy about that one.
Oh yeah, you know the Gamecocks got, and I was on South Carolina too.
Yeah.
Gamecocks got it done.
Yeah, that was a great game.
They made me sweat for it though. They made me really work for it.
That game was fun though. That was a fun game.
They made me work for it, but yeah.
8.5 was a big number though for Clemson, who's lost back-to-back games to Memphis and South Carolina. Do they right the ship at home against your boys?
I think so. I think they do. I think they play a solid defense that they can really, really give this Wake Forest team some problems. I do think Clemson is like far and away probably one of the best teams in the ACC. I'm sorry, one of the best teams in the ACC, and I think that this game is probably going to show how large of a gap it is from the top of the ACC to the bottom. Because I think the ACC is really, really down this year. And so I think Clemson kind of pulls away with this. I could see a double-digit win by Clemson in this one. I understand people are betting Wake. Clemson hasn't looked good the past couple of games, but I think this is a nice get back spot for them.
I'm with you. I agree. Clemson, I think, to me, is the play. At that same time or right after, I think 15 minutes after that game tips in Madison Square Garden, New York City. UCLA is taking on your Tar Heels, and let me tell you, I am betting on your Tar Heels.
They're
the more desperate team in this spot. They're going to win this game.
Is turning in his beer right now. He is turning in his beer.
Yeah.
Kind of you saying that.
Well, I like this. We're fading Duke and we're taking Carolina. So read the tea leaves, Nick. Tar Heels are the play though, man. I just think they're 6-5. They go 6-6 here. You know, with Hubert Davis, I think he's got to start worrying about maybe potentially the hot seat. So I think they're going to get this win here. UCLA coming cross country. This is one of these games to me that writes everything because the ACC is down. And I think if Carolina gets into ACC play, which is looming, it starts on January 1st. I think they can salvage their season. But this right here is a big win for them. I'm betting Carolina. What are you doing here?
I mean, hopefully I don't regret it, but I think I'll take Carolina as well. Carolina And I mean, granted, these are different Carolina teams, different UCLA teams. Very, very dominant in recent history against UCLA is Carolina. They've won the last 4 meetings and they've got it done and covered on every level that they could. They covered as a 10-point big favorite where they were supposed to dominate UCLA. They covered as a short favorite, laying 3. They even covered as a short dog plus 2.5, getting it done. So every situation of where UNC has played this team, they've been able to get the cover. And so I think that that's also another aspect of it. You have in this rough season, you finally go up against a team where all these guys are eat, breathe, sleep Carolina. They know that they start to figure out this team, and they have good games against UCLA in recent history. So even on the road, even at home, they got it done. I like them to go ahead and get it done here.
Let's go. DePaul, Northwestern.
I can lock that up, actually.
Yeah, I already bet it. I already locked it. Yeah, do that. There we go. Terrell Furman taking these Tar Heels at the Garden. DePaul is at Northwestern. Classic Battle of Chicago, and this is not the DePaul team you've all come to know. They're 8-3.
They have a beating pulse. They're not the DePaul team we know because they have a beating pulse.
They haven't been this good since the fucking 80s. Northwestern's laying 6.5, and I don't like laying Northwestern in these. I don't like laying points in these crosstown games. I'm all over DePaul here. I took Chicago State. I think it was a year ago. They won it outright against Northwestern. Anytime you get DePaul's been so bad lately. Northwestern's made the tournament a few times now. I think this is a get up spot for DePaul to let them know that, hey, we are also in Chicago. We're gonna put it on you. 6.5. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm with DePaul as well. I'm glad to see DePaul actually playing some type of meaningful basketball, and the games actually matter. So I'm 100% for backing this DePaul team. And who is this Northwestern team to be laying this amount of points? Like,
yeah,
as much as
Northwestern as the dog, never as a big favorite.
Yeah, so I'm with you, Phaeton, Northwestern here. I think DePaul could get this done, and I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised if DePaul won this on the money line. I would not be surprised. With you. I think that if you told me to play this on the money line, I wouldn't be. I would definitely think that this is a nice little sprinkle. So yeah, I like DePaul.
Let's go to Birmingham, Alabama, the Legacy Arena, where Purdue is heading to Auburn. Well, it's a neutral site, but it's an Auburn game. They've always played in Birmingham football and basketball. Auburn is laying 9.5 points. I just have to take Auburn. I watched that A&M Purdue game, and I know Purdue still kept that within like 4 or 5 points, but that one, you know how we talked last week about how we created the white running back during COVID, like there was in a lab.
Yeah, it was in a lab. Kind of business.
They got to do that with white basketball players, because the Purdue just the Big Ten, dude. The Big Ten. Oh my God, the A&M Purdue game a week ago was very hard for me to watch.
Basketball players need help.
Dude, it was bad. It was really bad. I don't know if you caught this because it was last Saturday. A&M Purdue were playing, and like I said, to credit to Painter, because I don't know how the fuck they even kept that close, even though they didn't cover. Dude, every time up the court, it was a struggle. It was like just to get the ball past half court, it was a fucking struggle, man. And then like even when they got, it was like everything was incredibly sloppy. It was like watching like a 9 and 10-year-old boys basketball team play, where just the ball's bouncing around and it's like chaos. It was a hard watch, man, for me. Like I was just like, there's no structure. You can't trust their guards to bring them up one-on-one on A&M's defense. And it was just a classic, like, man, A&M's got athletes. Purdue has none. But I see Auburn just fucking them up here. I somehow Painter kept that within 5 or 6 points. I forget the final score, but that was in Indianapolis. You're going to get fucking drilled here. Auburn, I think, is a national championship contender. I'm laying it. What are you doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll lay it with Auburn too. Just one to fade Noah in the Big Ten and Purdue. I don't think Purdue is really that good. And
it's only the whites in the Big Ten too.
Yeah, those they haven't gotten the super serum. That made its way to the Big 12 and around college football, but they haven't gotten their
even the ACC's got a few of them, like Middlebrooks at NC State or the Clemson's got a few of them. Like it's something about the Midwest. You had too much fucking corn chowder. You know what I mean? You just had too much. Something about the like Wisconsin whites too. But
gotta get them into a lab.
Ohio, that big one here too at the Garden. Ohio State, Kentucky. Ohio State was projected to be a little bit better than their record, 7-4. Actually, Ohio State's playing at the same fucking time in football, so I guess no one from Ohio State's going to be watching this game.
Yeah, it might be a Kentucky smash spot here. Yeah. No support.
7.5. I feel like Kentucky is due for like a close game at the Garden. Like they've been. I don't. When's the last time they were in a really close game? The Gonzaga game. Give me Ohio State in the points, just because I think it's a sleepy game for both teams. What are you doing here?
Nah, I'm gonna go with the angle. I'm gonna still take Kentucky. I think nobody's paying attention to this game. There's a lot of other things all week. They've only heard about Ohio State football and how good they are. And this Kentucky team just continues to find ways to impress me. Be better than what I thought they were going to be this year. And it's because they went into the transfer portal. They got a new leadership. They started retooling this team, and they got a bunch of dogs that I just like. So yeah, I'm going to roll with Kentucky.
Hope, that energy, man. Hope's energy of being a former Wildcat player himself, I think has ignited that fan base and that team. Let's jump back to college, where you have the Tennessee Volunteers, who brought a bunch of the crowd. Apparently, Kramer's been sending me all these goddamn texts. Heading into the horseshoe.
Doesn't matter to me though.
Well, I bet the fuck out of Ohio State. So I'm laying the 7.
This is the lock. This is the lock of the weekend. They're going to beat the shit.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
It's and even if they don't beat the shit out of them, they win by 10, easy.
Yeah, or 14 or something. But I still think I got this as like a 24-6 win for the Buckeyes. My favorite college football playoff wager for the 12 team. I just don't think Tennessee's that good. I think Tennessee's stats say Tennessee, like I just said, they're kind of like Indiana, where you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, they deserve to be in. I'm not saying they shouldn't have been in. I would have voted them in, but a lot of it has to do with their schedule. In their big matchups, they did not look great to me. Yes, they won the Bama game in the second half, but it wasn't super impressive to me what they did. It was kind of a shitty game if you go back and watch that game. Ohio State, I think, is going to drill them. Like I said, 24-6. Love the under as well. And love the under. I don't think Tennessee's capable of scoring a lot of points against this Ohio State defense. So give me the under 46.5. And I'm all over Ohio State laying 7. What do you think on that total?
I like it. I want to throw out another total for you. North Carolina A&T Aggies, the over has only not hit in 2 games. Just throwing that out there. They play Arkansas today.
Ooh.
It's only 2 games.
Like what, 28?
29.5. They might can cover it. No, they can't. But they'll get to the over. They'll score.
I think I got to lay the points with just because that building's probably going to be on fire. But yeah, over. Get on over there. Let's do a nice round robin for the good folks at home that have been waiting for this.
For the good people. What are we throwing in there?
I think Clemson moneyline football. Clemson moneyline football. North Dakota State. Wait, you took South Dakota State, didn't you? Well, who'd you take in that game again?
I took South Dakota State.
Okay. So Clemson, we might just have to do a regular parlay. I'm trying to think, do we have enough money line dogs here?
I mean, if you go quick, you can grab that Syracuse money line right now.
Oh yeah, let's jump in there. You got to go right now, folks. Syracuse basketball money line against Maryland at the Barclays Center. Yeah, those two. And
DePaul plus 230.
Yes, DePaul in the Battle of Chicago. Yeah, those three. How about that? And Carolina, North Carolina at the Garden.
Okay, short nice little yapper. Plus 100. Right. Yeah, little yapper. Add that in there. Okay.
There Carolina, we go. DePaul, there we go.
Syracuse and Clemson.
Oh, you got about 4 minutes to get this thing in. Shout out to Jong. Shout out to Nathan Cerna.
Jong, what excited. It do?
Yes, great guy. Yeah, folks, that's our show. Give Terrell Furman a follow on Twitter at @reallyRel__. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Enjoy today because today's a special sports day. You can just get all that shit, everything. They're just putting everything out there. Yeah, we'll be back on a reaction show tonight. I need a fucking coffee. All right. Yeah, check out. By the way, the race. We need 15K subscribers. There's speculation that we might get canceled if we don't have 15K. So it kind of be like when Family Guy got. Remember when Family Guy got? You notice the some of the best shows. Family Guy got canceled and then uncanceled. Breaking Bad got canceled and then uncanceled. The Wire. The Wire is another one where they put it on. They basically brush it off. They didn't officially cancel it, but removed it from the show for a little bit. All those ended up being fucking heat. So, we just need you to hit that like and subscribe button because the numbers aren't right. I see 38% unsubscribed, and that's just insulting. So get on over there. The race to 15K before the new year. Yeah, Arrested Development. That's another one. Yeah, folks, enjoy the day. Stay safe. Happy holidays to you, your family, friends, all that good stuff. Till next time. This is the college football experience and college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Woo! Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with the cameras. Run and shoot.